right, guys, it is transmission day. I just got this thing cleaned out here in the driveway, mostly cleaned for the second time. My main tip for you on cleaning a transmission, plenty of videos out there, just clean it, pressure wash it, scrub it, whatever. Decide ahead of time how clean you really want it. That's the hardest part, because I was just gonna get all of the gunk off it and make it so you can touch it and it wouldn't be a problem and not look terrible. And that's kind of the stage I got it to. There's still some crevices that have dirt and stuff. But as I cleaned it, I realized the more you scrub and the more you clean and pressure wash, the cleaner it gets and the shinier it gets. And it's tempting to just keep going and going and going. So just know ahead of time when you're gonna stop. Inside, that was just caked with oil and crap. So much better inside here now. Two things we gotta do to the transmission before we put it back in. First off, I noticed that this switch right here is broken, and this is the reverse switch, apparently, it turns out. Got a new one of those. That is the part, I don't know if that's a part number. Yeah, this is it. Comes with its own little gasket crush washer. This bad boy takes a 27 millimeter socket, holy cow. All right, so I'm just gonna get our new one off here. Gasket's stuck on there. Smell a little bit of transmission fluid on that one. Now, let me line these up. It looks to me like the new one, oh, maybe this is a, yes, that thing gets depressed. I was gonna say this one is longer. That's because this one is in innie, and this one's an outie right now. And also the top connector is a little bit longer. Well, I don't know, yeah, I guess so. All right, because I'm curious, let me see if we can see anything inside there. There's like a little something in there. I didn't see a torque spec for it, so I just did it nice and tight. I don't know. It's got a little crush washer thingy. It's huge threads, huge hole. I don't think you're gonna over tighten it. Don't over tighten it. All right, next up is gonna be this Throwout bearing. This thing spins around. I got a new one right here. This is what they look like. This one still spins pretty easily, doesn't have a lot of play. I'm sure it's fine. The whole piece travels in this, I think they call this the fork. And you can see that there is a little ball assembly thingy there. This is where your slave cylinder presses it. So when you come find this thing, it's gonna be right in here. And that little ball hiding down there just snaps into here. So you can just, let's get this thing all the way in there. You just press it and it clips in so it can't move. When your slave cylinder presses this, it goes in and out. That's what pushes on your pressure plate to help you with your clutch. So this bearing just rides on that. This shaft is obviously spinning for your transmission. So yeah, you're supposed to replace these every now and then. And so since we have it out, now is the time. So you just pull and that'll pop out, slide this thing off. And this thing is just clipped in, I think. If I just pull it off, yep. So you can just pull it right out. It's got two little kind of plastic clips that clip onto there. So before I put the new one in, I'm just gonna take this over to the vapor honer and make it nice and new again. All right, I literally spent 60 seconds in the vapor honer on this thing, and look, brand new. If you guys don't have a vapor honer in your garage, too bad. That's my favorite tool ever. Vapor hunting technologies, go check them out. All right, it's literally as easy as pressing that in, and it should be attached, and it should have some travel up and down. like this. And before we put it back in, that throwout bearing comes with a little bit of this grease. So you're just supposed to very lightly put grease around this shaft and the splines here, not too much. That's why you get a small pack. Come on, little fella. All right, some here, some around here. Get a faint coating. There we go. All right, snap that back down into place, and oh yes, ready for many miles of glorious shifting. Okay, slave cylinder, I made another video where I replaced this and I disconnected it from there in order to get that fitting off and back on, and then I put it back where it was. And the plan was when I raised the transmission up high enough, I would bolt it on while I could still reach it before going all the way up. I just realized, why would I do that when I obviously can just disconnect it from there? So I'm gonna take it off again, install it on the transmission, and then when I raise the transmission back up, just reconnect it there. All right, got him off of there, and he's just gonna slide right into this hole. And the tip of it is gonna go right behind the fork there and push that out a little bit. So we're just gonna line this up flush. And there are two M8 by 30 bolts that we put right here. We're gonna torque them down to 23 Newton meters. Apparently it's not terrible or impossible doing this with the transmission in the car, but that seems unlikely to me. This is a long socket. I can't even get it on that bolt here. These are 13 millimeter bolts, by the way. And if you had to come up from under the car and try to get in here, yeah, it's pretty tough, but that's the struggle you're gonna be looking at. All right, my favorite part of engine building, witness marks. And since I tightened that one down too, no, we'll give him one. Now, this little bracket here has a little clip. You can see here that rotates around, and it's supposed to hold this hard line. So I don't know where exactly it's supposed to hold it, but it seems like if I face it backwards, it's really only it's really the only place that I can make it fit, but it kind of pops out. I don't know, you guys got any tips on that? All right, that's all I know to do to prep that to be mounted to that. So that is the fun part. I am going to try to pick it up and move it and attach it to the back. So that's gonna require some time lapse. All right, that was kind of harrowing. Not too bad though, but it looks like we got these lined up fairly well. So now, moment of truth, I'm going to find the right bolts and see if we can't just put it together. All right, according to this picture here, the number 9s are 100 millimeters, and there's 2 of those. And the number 8s over here are 70 millimeters, and there's 3 of those. So I got 3 that are the same length, 2 longer ones. So I'm gonna go with that. Because I know my struggle entertains you, I got it like this. I'm gonna stand on the other side of the engine and I'll try to film it for you. you'll notice this thing right here. So I realized I can put my left foot on that and just push my left foot forward, and it rolls smoothly enough to bring the whole transmission forward. So I can use both hands on the transmission, try to get lined up. You're gonna use this bolt to try to get it started on the top. So wish me luck. Here goes nothing. Okay, giddy up. So the back is just a tiny bit too high. So let me raise the front. A couple clicks and then lower the transmission a little. Give this a go. One click. I just rotated the whole transmission a little bit to the right. It slid nicely. Bolt through it, and then we can kind of, okay. All right. Maybe I'll thread one bolt just a little bit, kind of hold it in the right position. Get a second bolt and try to, that definitely has to be a long bolt over here. And get that bolt started a little bit. Yeah. Go in your home. All right, I'm going to bring this back and lower the transmission and re-level it. All right, after timeout, new approach. I'll show you in a minute, but I have a rubber block under here now, the smaller size that comes with a quick jack. All right, this is not working well. Now, it could be that the splines are just exactly lined up and they need to be rotated a tiny bit, which I doubt that's the case, but let me just rotate it a little bit and try this again. Son of Beesh. Looking over here at this gap, I just remembered what I forgot. Maybe you guys following along were thinking it. There is supposed to be a spacer that goes in there and another one somewhere else along the case. Probably these two guys right here in the parts bin. Here's the transmission from my Cayman. You can see one is right here and that one was probably stayed in the engine block. Yup, pay no attention. Got one tapped in here. Other one goes right there to mate over here. Now let's start all over again. All right, that last graph, useless chart. All right, this is the real one from the manual. It looks like there are 8 bolts. And yes, these are the actual sizes that make much more sense and fit than what the other one said to do. So I'm gonna count these out. I'm gonna number them 1 through 8, and I'm gonna number where they go on the block to make it easier. All right, I got our bolts laid out, numbered 1 through 7. Number 8 is the one that I put in the car to start it already. I got them all cleaned up. You'll note that number 4 is an M10 by 50, and they call it an internal serration screw. So it has that triple square type thing in the head that's really annoying. This bolt here happens to be the M10. All right, I got these all numbered. This is bolt number 3. It's one of the 100 millimeters. So I'm just starting it in here, and I'm gonna see if this pulls it together for us. Seems to be pulling the case, and I'll crank on number 8 on the other side. I'm gonna put in bolt 6 in here. Bolt number 6 is a 16 millimeter. All right, here's number 2, another of the 100 millimeters. All right, let's make sure I start them all by hand first before using power tools. Oh yeah. All right, bolt number 1 up top here. Our freaky triple square bolt. He's threading in very easily. All right, 5 and 7. All right, 5 is actually a through bolt, and you put a nut on the back of it. All right, everything's been started. All right, it's seated over here. It's seated on this dowel over here now. Beautiful. Gonna walk all the way around the car and snug them up. All right, here's number 5 down here, our little nut on the back with the bolt here, and these are both 15 millimeter. So let's take the back of this box end wrench or spanner and tighten him down. Can't get a torque wrench down there at the moment, but that is tight. All right, bolt number 1, 85 Newton meters. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start a numero uno. And these are all 16 millimeter sockets. So I'm gonna go. All right, that is firm. So I'm gonna do 1 first and then probably 6 over here, and kind of skip around and do them in a star-ish pattern. Number 6 also happens to be 85 Newton meters. Now they're not all the same, so you gotta be careful. All right, I'm gonna do number 3 on this side. Number 3 is also 85. And I almost forgot. All right, I'm gonna witness mark 1, 6, and 3 that I've already tightened. All right, number 8 is 85. And I'll knock out number 7 since I'm over here. Also 85. All right, number 2, 85. All right, so number 4 over here and number 5 with the nut on the back, those are both 46 Newton meters. So dial this down a little bit. That one is a super tight fit, so get my tool back. All right, we have a transmission attached. I'm just going to lower my hoist here, take off all the weight. All right, you can see the bottom of my transmission is dropping, as is the engine. So back to this small little rubber block that came off my quick jack. Just gonna lift this back up a little bit. Just have enough room to slide it right under here. And now when I lower it, it is going to put some weight on here and rest on that block. So now I can remove all of these. All right, self-supported engine and transmission. Hope you guys had a blast like I did. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, watch the whole series. It's a lot of fun. See you guys.